Do you know the feeling? The feeling when a game just feels just right. The feeling when a game feels the way it should feel. If you've ever felt the way I've felt, then these games are perfect for you to feel what I'm feeling. What am I talking about? I'm talking about racing games, specifically 360 arcade racers. These games invoke something very different than modern games invoke now. Sometimes they get a bad rap. Sometimes racing games don't get the love that they deserve. Some of them deserve the not love that they don't deserve. What I'm trying to say is I'm going to present to you 5 Xbox 360 arcade racing games that I think invoke something a little special. First up is Grid. Grid is a fantastic racing game. It's probably the closest on the list to a simulator racing game, but it toes the line just enough for you to feel like it has that arcade racing aesthetic. From the moment you turn on Grid, it hits you with a rock remix from Queens of the Stone Age. An amazing turnout by Codemasters, the introduction menu hits you with this deep house vibe. You're welcomed with the start of the game with awesome transition menus, cool sweeping text, complete with driving noises and your swish sounds. Through the game, you might have very sensitive controls. You are able to limit that sensitivity, but once mastered and you have that handbrake, it is a blast to play Grid. Your car can take heavy damage if it ends up being thrown into barriers or other cars. You can bend your chassis or your axles, which will change the way that your car maneuvers. The game has a cool flashback feature for those times that you go a little too hard into the rail. It lets you redo a portion of the track that may have caused you difficulty in the past. I think you get roughly 5 to 10 seconds to be able to reverse what your course action will be. The game allows you to play Formula 1 cars, pro racing, racing cars, as well as Destruction Derby, so it gives you a lot of options. The game has very cool tracks, and if they end up being a little too difficult for you, that's when you use that flashback system to redo those corners and sharp turns. My opinion is Grid is still a fantastic game. It looks amazing for the 360 era. Though it is sensitive, it's very fun gameplay when you have them mastered. Very cool aesthetic, and I give Grid a 4 out of 5 Pac-Man heads. Test Drive Unlimited. A super fun entry from Eden Games and published by Atari. At the beginning of the game, you can choose a character select while you're boarding a plane. Funny enough, these characters look pretty creepy. You start off by this cool, funky feeling as your character takes off to the Hawaiian island of Honolulu to explore the roadways. After dreaming about cruising around the island, your character rolls up to a rental car facility and picks their ride. You can choose from an Audi S4, Lotus Elise. You get a select limited number of rides at the beginning and grow it as you play the game. Funnest part about the game is you are literally open world cruising around this Hawaiian island. You only start out with $2,000 for a home and $50,000 for a car, so choose wisely. Your HUD has a GPS so you can cruise the island wherever you'd like to go, and it normally gives you waypoints. Controls can tend to feel a little bit boxy, but after a while you get used to it. You can increase the sensitivity, which I feel made the gameplay a little bit more fun. The game was touted as having a very cool massive online multiplayer mode. As a single player now with the server shut down, your objective is to cruise around looking for races, having a great time buying cars and houses. Not to mention you can crash into anybody while you burn out across the roadways. Test Drive Unlimited, I played countless hours of this game, loved cruising around the island, and I still think to this day it deserves a spot in that fun arcade racer. I give Test Drive Unlimited 3 Pac-Man case heads out of 5 because I didn't do a very good ranking system. And it's better than that, but because I did 5, we're stuck with it. Sega Rally Revo, developed by Sega Racing Studios, has a fantastic title for the 360. For those that love arcade racing rally games, this is perfect for you. This is one of the first games that I had for the 360, and I still love playing it to this day. With a very Sega feel from the controls to the music, the game is perfect in its entry for arcade racing genre. From championships to quick races, you drive through the safari, alpine mountains, and even into the Arctic, with many more tracks. The user experience from the beginning is full of fun Polaroid pictures indicated of the menu settings, heavy bass-driven background music that makes you feel like you're playing a classic Sega arcade racer. The stereotypical rally cars take center stage: the Subaru Impreza, WRX, Mitsubishi Lancer, and the Ford Focus, with many other vehicles to be unlocked. Even in 2022, this game holds up, being from 2007. The graphics are tremendous, cool environment effects, and the vehicles look incredible, and the music holds up today. The controls can feel a little bit rubbery at first. Controlling your tail whip is key to the game, and controlling your drift to get around the corners. Just like any rally game, it does give you turns beforehand audibly so you can prepare for what you have to do. Once mastered though, the game feels very fun and fluid. You can't help but enjoy the mud effects and icing effects that the vehicle gives on certain levels as well. With a fine aesthetic, upbeat tempo, and cool gameplay, Sega Rally Revo is still up there for me as the Xbox 360's funnest arcade racer games. I give Sega Rally Revo 4 Pac-Man case heads out of 5. I want to do 5 out of 5, but it's like, where do you go from there? Next up is Blur, a cool and fun take on kart racers that were popular for the time. This vehicle battle brigade takes you through New York all the way through Tokyo and many other areas. The game is a very sleek design, cool nightclub feel with its colors and song choices. Blur really prevails though over your cool power-ups that you get during your races. You can shock your opponents, shoot energy blasts, or even shield yourself. The realistic arcade kart racer wins in design and fun gameplay. Your job is to impress your fans, earning you more points and placing you higher in races to earn yourself lights. Unique power-ups help you beat your competitors one-on-one as you make your way through 9 other rivals in this game. I really find the game entertaining in the way that it handles the combination of racing and power-ups. The music invokes a cool futuristic vibe. An absolute stunning environment model brings you into the heart of the levels that you're racing. The controls are tight and the handling works really well. The vehicle models are some of the best that I've seen on the 360 arcade racers. Mimicking what's successful about Mario Kart, Blur does a really good job of masking these redos of a blue shell on Mario Kart or lightning bolts at the front of the pack. You want to throw out some green shells? They are called bolts in this game. If you need a quick mushroom boost grab, get yourself a green nitro pack in Blur. Blur takes the fun racing elements mixed with the fun karting elements and puts them all together in an aesthetically pleasing, high-quality designed racing game. I give Blur 5 out of 5 Pac-Man heads. And so should you. I cannot help but gush over Split Second. This kick-ass surprise entry from BlackRock Studios and Disney creates a super cool to-the-death game show around cars and changing environments. The game starts off with cool, upbeat, motivational music to accompany a shattered glass graphic effect. The tempo continues all the way through the game as you're introduced to the title Split Second, and it means it. Your menu system opens up to a high-tension feeling when you decide what game you're going to jump into. You make your way through various courses, earning yourself credits to move to the next level. You win these credits by winning races, but it's not that easy as you have to get past your opponents and the dangers they put in front of you. Custom-created vehicles for this game do remind me of Sportsters of the past on the road. They have a very different appeal and balance settings based on the vehicle that you want to choose. What makes the game incredible though is the power play mechanic, allowing your rival to set up traps on the course that you must avoid. Sometimes they're small traps and sometimes they change the entire course. You can take these, but you also end up dishing them out. The environmental effects are awesome, coupled with a cool camera shaking element. You work your way through dodging explosive, falling towers, and even exploding planes. The controls can tend to have a little bit of a delay to them, but because the mechanics feel so right, it feels natural after playing it for a bit. Split Second deserved a sequel, and I will always gush about this game because I think it is incredible. It gets 5 out of 5 Pac-Man heads. Alright guys, that is 5 arcade racers that I absolutely love on the Xbox 360. If you guys like my silly content, you like what I got going on, hit that freaking subscribe button for me. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whoever you want to come join the Pack Rat Army, because we're taking it over by storm, my friends. Hey, until we make another fun video, I will catch you guys later. Peace.